right. What an exciting time to be alive. Oh my gosh. Are you guys picking up on this? I thought I would come on and share some really powerful, what I believe to be powerful insights and tools with everything that's happening right now. Most exciting time ever, one of them. And also one of the most chaotic. And the reason for that is that everything that's been inverted in this 3D matrix is being exposed by the light right now. And so the invitation is to really become a calm, conscious observer. Because judging and seeing yourself as separate from anyone, even those that we claim are the bad guys, keeps us stuck because we're not understanding that we're creating all of this. And to really get clear on that is going to accelerate and elevate not only your conscious awareness and the timelines that you will elevate into or move into, but it's also doing it for the collective, no matter what it looks like out there. So what a great time to be alive. And I'm just going to share a couple things here that are key. So if anybody has any questions, this is a Q&A. As long as we're not diving into conspiracy theories, which I myself know are pretty much all 100% true. We won't really dive into darkness, but if you have a question, pop it in around inner healing, around creating your reality, around timelines. And I'll do my best to share some stuff, but it really comes up to your own intuition and inner knowing. Because when we really get quiet and we begin to weed out those old limiting beliefs, because any belief that's limiting, whether it's around money or your ability to manifest anything or your ability to self-heal, it's a lie. It's an illusion. And now that we're waking up to this and things are accelerating faster and faster and faster, all one has to do is be open-minded, be willing to be 100% honest with themselves, and just go, okay, this might be uncomfortable. I might have just gotten triggered. What is the gift that this is showing me? So I do not have to relive and re-experience this same judgment or trigger over and over and over. What is this showing me about me? It's all you have to do. And if you don't want to do that, then that's your choice. But it's going to be a tough ride moving forward. So one of the things that's super, super, super key is to understand that every single thing that we're holding within is going to be mirrored back from the external reality. It's just a mirror. It's a mirror. Now, sometimes when I say this, the first thing, and this is what I used to say, well, does that mean that I'm bad and I'm harming people and the children? No. But the collective is still stuck in this cycle of these old wounds. And now we have the opportunity to clear this stuff faster than ever. So our number one responsibility is to clean up our frequency, to do our own inner healing. And I've never journeyed with anybody yet that did not have some inner healing to do. This is not really what people desire to hear, yet even the most incredible, loving people that I journey with today and that I've known in the past, and some that have passed on from the human body but are still here energetically, there were layers and layers and layers, and I know that can be frustrating. But if you can turn that around into excitement and go, okay, what are the facts? And even if you can't prove it, I truly believe we're 100% unlimited. That means unlimited capital UNLIMITED. And that's a word that I have every one of my students or people that I journey with write down, because very few people believe and operate like they're unlimited. I still hear people, even really highly elevated spiritual people, using the words want, wish, hope, need, try, should, going to. And all those spell words give their subconscious the exact instruction that their desires are still not here yet. So I have a whole free video on my YouTube channel around spell words, the 9 most used spell words by people, and the words to put in their place. And you can learn that and swap them out in a few days. Or you can continue to use them for the rest of your life and go, it's no big deal. And then observe how you are programming your subconscious to tell it and to create in your reality that your desire is still not here yet. Because the subconscious can only take a direct, simple order. It's either here now or it's not. Okay. I love your authenticity and honesty. I'm going to mirror you and say, dear one, you are not guilty of anything. Guilt is a very low frequency, and we were taught this word. I was taught this in private Catholic schools when I was 7, where every day was Judgment Day, and the nuns were all angry and pissed off. So remove the guilt, please. Remove the guilt and go, here's a better way to say it. I was taught that by systems outside of myself that were out of my control. I was simply taking in information that was given to me, and now that I can see it, I'm going to shift it. Yeah. Super key. No guilt involved. Guilt is horrible. I know. I carried guilt for a long time. I carried still not good enough. That was programmed into me by my uncle heavily. And so the whole purpose of the waking up in the dream process that I love and is so fast and powerful is it's just a matter of being willing to look at our programming and our beliefs and any wounds or trauma and go, okay, can I be okay with the fact that that was part of my agreed upon soul contract? Because why would a 100% unlimited divine being that can go anywhere and do anything in any dimension come down to earth and agree to have their memory completely wiped in most cases, and then to be programmed in a totally inverted 3D system of enslavement? Why would somebody do that? Unless there was an incredibly loving and compassionate reason. So if you can get past the pain and go, and like I did, I would have never chosen to come down here and go through all this pain and suffering. That was my story. I was like, there's no way. But I didn't know about the belief system. I didn't know about programming back then. I didn't know about wounds. I was doing my best to protect Jeff, which is what we do. And then we wrap these what are they, blocks, or we put up these walls around our wounds thinking that it'll protect us so that never happens to us again. But what ends up happening is the wounds don't get cleared and healed because in many cases, it's very uncomfortable to go back in and look at them. So we put up this protective mechanism. So the majority of people that have wounds don't want to look at them. And so what do? Everything that we're holding within magnetically attracts more like frequencies, events, lack of abundance or a bunch of abundance, dysfunctional relationships. It just does. So here's the good news. Okay? First, we got to be willing to put ourselves under a microscope and shine the light on the wounds and the limiting beliefs. And this process does it so quickly, faster than anything else I've ever found. That's why I put it together. I never plan on writing a book. All this stuff was just messages to Jeff in a journal so he didn't ever forget again. And then I came up with a way to track it, all these different, just simple stuff to fill out every night. And then what happens is you start seeing the programs as soon as they happen, you feel them. And then you go through the process of stopping and asking, okay, what is this trying to show me or teach me? What is this attempting to show me or teach me? Eliminate the word try. See, you catch them. You begin to catch them. And once in a while you might say it, but you'll feel it really quickly and you'll eliminate those spell words. So no more guilt, people. No more guilt. You know, whatever has happened to you was part of a soul contract, and there's a much higher benevolent purpose for it. I'm telling you. I know what it feels like to hold judgment against myself. It's an awful feeling. So I'm here to tell you in any way that I can, if it'll get through and seep into that beautiful, gorgeous heart of yours, that you're divine, you're eternal. There's nothing wrong with you. You are an incredible being of light that made one of the most difficult and noble and courageous choices ever to come down into the most inverted system, or one of them, that we know of. So I would begin looking into the mirror every day, and I have every one of my clients do this. It's on the sheet too. Just reminds you, daily mirror gazing. And you just write a little check in there. You're like, yeah. And you start, this becomes your new program. Morning gratitude, consciously and intentionally creating your reality. First thing every morning before those 50 to 80,000 thoughts start running up. I got to get up. I've got to put on a pot of coffee. I got to check my email. I got to get the kids. All that's going to get done. But if you don't take time to consciously and intentionally create your reality, the most incredible people show up in my reality every day. Abundance just flows to me. I'm surrounded by it everywhere. Look around. You're surrounded by abundance. But the ego will go, yeah, but the money, I still don't have enough money. Because that's the most inverted program on the planet. It's all fake. When you begin to love on yourself and share your own unique gifts that you would give away for free if there was no money, because it's part of your soul and your excitement and your passion, everything just flows to you. Everything just flows to you. So ask yourself, am I truly doing what I love? Because the 3D matrix is set up to get you to give your power away to somebody else so that they can make all the money, in many cases. Now we've got this wonderful internet. People can be doing lives. People can doing coaching. They can share their artwork. They can share their music. And it's all about knowing that there's no way that you would have come here to be broke or stuck or not appreciated. If you're getting mirrored back to not appreciated, look inside. Where are you not appreciating and loving on yourself, guys? I'm talking to you. Got to be willing to look at the wounds. And it's the same for men and women. But it's really interesting that 8 out of 10 of my clients are women. The men have really put the armor on as far as not really willing to go in and look at their wounds and heal them. Because it's intense. But once you clear it, man, everything shifts. And I'm not saying, all right, disclaimer, I'm not saying no men aren't out there. More men than ever are doing it because we have to do it. And we're receiving all these incredible frequencies and light on the planet that's raising our frequency. It's bringing our stuff up more than ever. Everybody can feel that, even if they're not even paying attention. Does anybody have any questions about anything? Creating your reality, inner healing, And this is a safe space. There will be no judgment allowed in here. There's no room for that. So, what always happens is when I do a live, one person will ask the first question. And then all of a sudden, everybody else will go, oh, okay. Now we can all comment and ask questions or whatever. And hi, Denise. Love you so much. Thank you for your beautiful heart and support always. And Lupe, thank you for sharing this, being open, but you're not guilty of anything. Nobody out there is guilty of anything. So one of the main keys to ascending out of 3D is forgiving everyone. So this is a really simple process. And it might take a few, ho'oponoponos, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And then flip-flop it, I'm sorry, I forgive me, I love myself, thank you. So here's the deal. Want to get out of hell free card? Okay. Think of anyone that you feel that did you wrong. My father abused me. My mom was an alcoholic. My boyfriend, screwed around with my best friend. Whatever it is. Think about it. Now, look at it from the perspective. Zoom out. Look at it from the perspective as an unlimited divine being that can never die. And go, if that was part of my soul contract, whether I can prove that or not, but I promise you, I can't prove to you that it was part of your soul contract, but I can prove to you that if you forgive it and find the gift, it'll clear and everything in your reality will shift because your magnetic frequency is now cleared and it's more loving and it's high vibrational. So ask yourself, think about anybody that you feel ever did you wrong or screwed you over. Now, can you forgive them? Think about it. And your mind will go, yeah, because you've been running that story a long time, over and over and over. It's just been festering inside of you. It's poison. Let it go. Let it go. How can you tell if you've forgiven somebody? Because you can thank them for perfectly playing their role as part of your soul contract. Boom. Thank you. Now, I don't tell some of the people that I journey with that do personal sessions or mentorships with me to thank somebody that raped them or molested them, but at the end of the day, you got to clear it. And if you have listened to anybody that got raped or had something horrible happen to them and they cleared it and now they're going out and helping other people, I guarantee you 100% that the key to their healing was forgiving. That's it. I'm giving you, and I'm not saying you don't notice this, but for people that might not know and are still holding on and are pissed off, that creates dis-ease. Come on, love on yourself. Test it out. Forgive somebody. You can always go back to your old story of, they did something to me. And, and then you'll see. Your frequency is going to come down and you're just going to start mirroring more and more relationships and things, events that are going to match your victim mentality. You're not a victim. You just forgot. You had to forget. And again, how courageous and amazing you must be to come down into these lower frequencies and go, I'm going to go down there and shift this. And I'm not going alone. And I'm always supported. But there will come a time when I have to be willing to look at my stuff, to understand what happened, and then go in and heal and clear it and clear all of my limiting beliefs. If you've seen me speak before, you know this whole process is about inner healing, dismantling limiting beliefs, and then consciously and intentionally creating your reality first thing every morning, throughout the day, and before you go to bed at night. You now become the programmer. And that's why this waking up in the dream process is permanent subconscious reprogramming. It's got to be done. Otherwise, you're running somebody else's program. And if it doesn't come from love, joy, compassion, gratitude, or excitement, it's going to take you down. It's real simple. For those that are ready, man, things start to happen like that. Just have to be willing to show up and go, hey, I'll go spend $33 on a book and a tracking sheet and frickin' start to do it. I've spent $1 million on other things that didn't work. It happened to me. It happens. But what's so great is what's built into our soul, our higher self is, you'll keep having another opportunity and the soul will keep calling you upwards. It'll keep calling you. It'll keep calling you. Your ascension is built in. It's built in. If you're listening to this right now, it's built in. There's no way you're not going to ascend or go to wherever you think home is. But right now, why not make the best of this incredible roller coaster ride journey with all these other amazing people that came here to create these new earth timelines and to be able to celebrate living on an earth where you don't have to pay rent. You don't have to pay for food. The air's clean. The water's clean. You're healthy. Your DNA isn't hijacked. There is no more disease. And don't be one of those people that go, I'll believe it when I see it. That means you'll never see it because you don't understand that your beliefs and what you claim and see is already done is what shows up as a timeline. Think of all those little dots. That's you, the big star. And these are all the timelines. And they're all happening right now. Every single thing you could ever think of. You're super wealthy, but does that bring you happiness? Not everything that you think you desire is the ultimate satisfaction for the soul. Because you are already infinite abundance. There's no way you can't be, because you're all of this. I'm getting animated. But, I'm excited because to figure this stuff out changed everything in my life. I still have less than thoughts. I still get triggered once in a while by my computer or, mosquitoes even. Yeah. They're gnarly here in Thailand. They're stealth, super tiny. And if they bite you, it itches for days. So anyway, disclaimer. This is why I love the process so much, and I'm 1,000% committed to it. And you will get to the point where you are if you're not already. Hey, great to see you, brother. Blessings, and thank you for showing up and sharing your wonderful, unique gifts that only you can share here on the planet. So anybody have any questions? Not that I'll have the answer, but we're just mirroring each other here in an open forum with excitement. And we're here at such an incredible time. I mean, yeah, that's like, really? Are you getting this? Are you getting this? And if you've got something that's coming up and you would like to clear it or share it, again, there's no judgment in here. I journey with people that are truly brave. And we have tears on our calls, And I'm the one that always gets tears in my eyes first, because when I'm mirroring them, I can see that like this thing's been underneath there for decades and it's just ready to come up and they're finally ready. And I'm just going, oh my God, makes me want to cry right now. Because I'm so compassionate, because I know what that feels like. And I'm like, thank you for showing up and asking questions and be willing to look at your stuff. Okay, Sandy, thank you, Sandy. Sandy has a question. What are examples of shadow work? Okay, thank you for this question. I love it. Okay, so examples of shadow work are everything that I've been speaking about on this call. Mostly everything. Okay? Have you forgiven everyone? And if you just joined us, then you can come back and watch this from the beginning. And also on my YouTube channel, all my videos are free, and I go over and over and over the tools in the book and the online course, and there's a link. Okay? So forgiveness of anything anybody did to you. Because whether you know it or not, or whether you're open to it or not, you chose every single thing that happened as part of your soul contract before you came here. Why would you choose that? Only one reason. Makes sense. To heal that for yourself, your family lineage, and the collective. So just ask yourself, do I have anybody left to forgive? It'll pop right up, because that story's been rehearsed a million times, because it's a wound that's been held in here. This is what we call shadow work. I don't really like the name because it makes it sound all dark and, cryptic and uncomfortable and evil. It's the most freeing thing you'll ever do. And there's no way of getting around it. Okay? So, great question. Okay? Also, when we talk about the belief system, do you have any limiting beliefs about yourself, around money, around abundance? Do you believe that you can heal yourself? Because the answer is always yes, because you're all of this. But having the awareness and the willingness to be honest and 100% vulnerable and go, okay, I'm creating all of this. And yeah, I can receive some assistance from friends or from like-minded people or from tuning into videos or whatever of things that I resonate with. But it's really up to me to go in and clear this stuff. And when you can catch the judgments, which I call automatics in the book. Judgments are all automatic. It's the biggest addiction on the planet by far. It's way bigger addiction than drugs or alcohol. Or judgment is massive because the ego has this tiny little belief system. And I'll go over this again because I had to hear it a lot of times before I finally got it. And I went, oh my God, that's how everybody stays trapped. The belief system. It's a tiny, tiny little prison. Stay with me. Why is it a prison? Because, number one, none of your beliefs or our beliefs are our own. None of them. They all came from sources outside of ourselves. Our parents, our grandparents, the school system, religion, all these inverted things. But in order to feel safe, we take on this tiny little belief system that we decide, well, if my parents all say that and all the collective says that, I better agree with them because I don't want to stick out and have them judge me and condemn me for speaking up and going, this is bullshit. And at some point, you're going to have to own your truth. Our beliefs wouldn't even fit on the head of a pin compared to everything that's out there in the universe. It's so tiny. And when you see this, if you haven't seen it already, your head's going to explode with like one of the biggest aha moments ever. And you're going to see that people are just automatically reacting over and over and over and over and over and over to anything, any new information that attempts to come in to free them. You see this everywhere now. People are believing the television, the media, the government. Come on. People are in denial because they're afraid to stand up and go, no, I do not consent. No way. No way. No way, no how. Nope. Nope. There's nothing you can do to bribe me. There's nothing you can give me to get me to submit. No way. And luckily, and I know you guys can see this, there's millions, if not billions, of us out here. It's been prophecy for thousands of years. It's happening. So what's the whole point of this talk? Michael Abington, hey brother, there's a shining light for you guys to check out. Here's a man that's willing to look at his stuff, put himself under a microscope, and also lead other men in doing so. High five, brother. Big love to you. Thanks for bringing your wonderful energy here. Look him up if you want somebody that's super inspiring. Also does some wonderful healing assistance for people. Him and his beautiful partner, Honey. Yeah, brother. Great to see you. Okay, so Sandy. I've done some forgiveness, but I know I've got more forgiveness to experience. Okay, so give yourself a high five. Go look in the mirror and go, I love you. I love you. I love you. Oh my God. How courageous it was to come down here this time. It's not about ego. It's not about, oh, look at me. It's about look within and go, wow. I'm willing to look at my stuff. That means that's a courageous person with a beautiful heart. Hi, Linda. Great to see you. Okay, so Sandy, I have not figured out how to eliminate memory in events of the past. So until that happens for us, there's still maybe going to be a little bit of memory way in the background that this thing or event or trauma or wound happened. But if it comes up at any time and taps you on the shoulder, and you might go, I thought I cleared that. Just go, okay, no big deal. There's still a little piece. So then you pull that person up or, light a candle and send them loving energy, whether they're still here on the planet or they're still out there energetically, because they are. And just go, thank you. Thank you for perfectly playing their role. And if this is too difficult because it was somebody that maybe raped or harmed or whatever, just do your best and go, this must have happened for a reason. And I cannot carry this forward in my energetic field and expect to get up into higher vibrational timelines, because judgment and separation don't exist in the higher vibrational timelines. That means that you must even be willing to admit that you're connected to even the people that are poisoning our food, air, and water and doing all those horrific things. And you don't know, but they might be saints that said, okay, I'm going to go down there and be the most diabolical bad guy so that I can wake people up at this time because it's time. So those people are playing their role. Everybody's playing their role. And at the end of the day, you must forgive everyone. Otherwise, it's you that's holding the lower vibrational frequency, which will keep you guaranteed from moving up into higher matching frequencies. Does that make sense? So now your ego can get pissed off and go, all right, fuck. I was hoping there was a way around it, but it looks like I'm going to have to clear this. Yeah. So these tools are really simple. They really are. They're really simple. Even kids can do this. I have parents that go through the waking up in the dream process. They go through the book, they print out the tracking sheet, and they print them out for their kids. And the kids move through it quicker because they don't have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 decades of all those ingrained beliefs and stories running. The kids are curious. They're like, Mom, you need to catch that one. You just had a judgment or an automatic reaction. The kids are curious. They go through it quicker. So this will be taught in the New Earth schools. Kids don't need to go to school for 12 to 16 to 20 years. Nobody does. To get in the club and then give away 65 of the best years of your life. So then you can become retired. Talk about a spell word. Re means to recycle. You know what tired means. Okay? So my whole purpose of coming on here is to empower you, to get you to move into excitement. Not that you're not already. I'm not making that assumption. I just have to have a starting point. Any questions? Yeah, all of our triggers show us where forgiveness and love is needed. That's great. And the fact that you see that and you're willing to be honest, now it's just a matter of setting up a system of awareness so that you can clear them quickly instead of taking another 10 or 20 years to clear them. And that may not happen either. I mean, there's people out here like myself that are, committed to doing this stuff every day and sharing it with anybody that's interested in listening. But There could be people that have never even heard about conscious awareness, and the energy comes into the planet like it's coming in now, and all of a sudden they pop and they're there. That's not going to make me unhappy. I mean, that might make my ego go, wow, they got it that easy and I had to, struggle through all this stuff for 50 years. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we're all reuniting, those of us that are choosing to do that. So any questions about the process? Any questions? Okay. So yeah, forgiveness and self-love, super, super key. So the other thing is, again, the illusion of separation is huge. It's so huge because you look out there. We all do. So we think that somebody in the WHO or the WEF or whatever, they can't be part of us. But they are part of the collective. And again, those people may be very high level angels, if you want to call them that came down here to trigger everybody into waking up. Because otherwise you can see nobody's going to choose to wake up unless they feel the pressure and the pain to go, okay, what I've been doing isn't working. It's not working when I judge everybody else. It's not working when I say that it's always my partner's fault. It's not working when I raise my voice and project my lower vibrational emotions onto other people. It's not working. I keep attracting the same shit and I can't get out of it. Okay, there must be something else. There is. It's called 100% accountability. And you can do it and have fun doing it. This whole thing can be a game. Or any way you want to do it. You can make it a game. You can wake up every morning and go, all right, I get another day. And you wake up like a kid on Christmas or on his birthday. Both of which are illusions, but that's a whole nother story. Bottom line is excited, 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 excited. And anytime you get pulled out of excitement, you can feel it. Come back. I have people set 12 alarms on their phones to go off every hour. Could be on vibrate, but it's basically just going, it's a reminder. Hey, where are you right now? Are you in the future? Are you in the past? Are you consciously and intentionally creating your reality? You might just be in nature and you're not in the future or the past. You're just now, which is why I go out and I walk in nature every single day with the wild jungle doggies and the animals, because it's the highest frequency place for me. Running streams, water, hundreds of butterflies, hundreds of dragonflies, birds tweeting everywhere. There's more sounds coming out here than I don't even know what birds they are, but I love them. That's being present. So it's all just a matter of knowing you're creating all of this. And when you accept that and go, okay, I don't really care for my situation. I don't really like where I live. I've always wanted to go here. And then the mind might pop in and go, yeah, but you don't have the money to do that, or it's difficult, spell word. Go, no, that's just an old program based on limiting beliefs. If I really get excited and set my intention and I envision myself being in Hawaii or Thailand or wherever, and I keep watering that seed is already here now, it's got to show up. Why? Because it's a law. It is a universal law. That which you are holding in here consistently without doubts, the doubt can pop in, but you just feel it and you go, nope, that's the old program. I'm holding it. I can see it, I can feel it, I can taste it, I can smell it. And I'm sticking to that feeling and that story. And every morning when I awaken, I'm going to see that before I get out of bed. I'm going to consciously see it over and over and over and go, oh, thank you. I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. Just like a little kid who hasn't had his imagination squashed yet. Little kids don't know the word no, or hard, or difficult, or impossible. Those are all taught to them by their parents and the system. And we're going back to that now. We're going to start playing with reversing aging, whether it's med beds or just you talking to your cells every single morning as soon as you awaken. It's the first thing I do. Because, man, I'm amazed that I'm still here and alive. After what I've put myself through and what my body's gone through, I know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, every one of these cells is just filled with a mission of unconditional love and serving me, unconditional love and serving me. No matter whether I put alcohol or drugs or hatred, self-hatred or anger or shame or guilt in here, that was hard for them. But they just keep coming back with unconditional love and service, service, service. I don't even have to think about it unless I put bad things in my body and then I get a temporary dis-ease because my body's telling me, hey, this isn't of the frequency that we are. So we're tapping on your shoulder to get your attention, or we're going to create a dis-ease, or having you get SICK. That's not a word that's even in my vocabulary anymore. I don't even use that, because it's not. It's actually a healing. It's a built-in healing device. It's magic. And I was offering up my phone. My neighbors were hearing my alarms. Yeah. It's a super wonderful free tool. You're just getting reminded. If you're not checking in, if you don't have a system to check in with yourself throughout the day, it's more than likely, unless you've already programmed yourself to only have thoughts and feelings of love, joy, gratitude, compassion, and excitement, one of my favorite words, because that's the highest frequency for me. Love's built into excitement. It's just automatic. So I love that word. But if those aren't your automatics, then I invite you to make them your automatics and then watch how it seems like magic, but it's not. It's the law of frequency and vibration. And you've heard this. It's like, duh, we've heard that all our life. But are you programming yourself for that? Have you cleared out the things that are lower frequency and vibrational? That's it. And we're all doing it together. And being kind with people, Masters mirror people with kindness and love and compassion, and they hold space. They don't project shoulds and you need to do that. No, they hold space, and they're really good listeners. The majority of people are really good talkers, and they're all ready to say what they're going to say before you're even finished. They're not even really fully listening. It's an art. So I invite you to practice that. I practice that too, because I can do the same thing, man. We're running these programs that have been running for thousands of years, but now is the time to clear this stuff and then observe all the magic that happens. Anybody have a question? Somebody's sitting out there with a question and they're going, man, I don't know if I want to ask this because I feel a little bit like it might be a stupid question or blah, blah, blah. Don't do that. I used to go to 3-day weekends with one of my teachers, a man named Don Miguel Ruiz in San Diego. And every month we would do 2.5 days, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. And I would go there with an intention every month. And I'd sit there and I'd go, I want to ask my question. And I had fear around it. And if I ever left the weekend and didn't ask my question, I was miserable. But every single time I asked my question, I got an answer and a reflection, and it just cleared all of that. And I ended up leaving the weekend feeling like frickin' so amazing. Stuff we hold in here, it can be toxic. So anyway, if anybody has a question, pop it in. I may or may not know, but it opens things up for everybody. So it's really a gift to everybody to be willing to be authentic and vulnerable. Those are two of our greatest strengths, authenticity and vulnerability, and holding space for others. So look at my notes here real quick, and if anybody's got a question, great. If not, then I guess I'll wrap it up. Yeah, so just again, none of your limiting beliefs or judgments about yourself are true. Those are all programs that got stuck in you. because you just trusted people. You know, a person that's loving would never go, people are deceiving me. So you trusted all the sources that came in. And then we have the harsh wake-up reality that almost everything in 3D is inverted to keep us in low frequency so they can feed off our energy and control us. While they've got all the fake money that they print as much as they can, they don't pay taxes. But they want to tax you, don't pay taxes. It's done. You might pay tax on gas or a built-in tax, but don't ever pay the IRS a dime ever. They're done. They're already abolished. They might try and, put you in fear, but if you go and do your research, you can read where it says, even in their rules and whatever, this is voluntary. Once again, they scare you into it. Anyway, okay, no questions? So big love to everybody. Okay, cool. Here's a question. Hey, Lori, is it common when you begin this journey, things start to come up, that when you realize your accountability? Yes, absolutely. That's one part. You're like, why didn't I know this? Or there's anger. Because it's like, this is bullshit. All this is inverted to enslave me? Yeah. So that's part of the healing process. Great question. Thank you for asking that. I love you. So yeah, you're doing it. Lori just picked up the book and she's been asking some questions in Messenger, and that's all it takes. Just question everything and be willing to be accountable. And decades of things will start to get cleared very quickly. Yeah, really. Okay. I'm afraid to do the things I know I'd love to do. What's a good way to start? Okay, great question. I love this because fear is one of the greatest things that keeps us from living an unlimited life. So first of all, every fear is a program or a wound that we decided to take on. Doesn't make us feel any better, but if you understand, okay, I took this on for some reason, and that reason was more than likely to clear it for yourself, your family lineage, and the collective. So what's a good way to start? What I would do, I would have a friend, or you can get a mentor that will gently mirror you and map out a plan to take steps. Like, what's one step you could take? Like, I don't know what your thing is. For mine, it was music, I play music every day. I've got a little recording studio here, and music saved my life. I probably would have left the planet if it wasn't for music and nature. But I always compared myself to Jimi Hendrix and all of the best players. And I was like, I'm still not there yet. I'm still not there yet. Which is, I was telling Jeff, you're still not good enough. You're still not good enough. You're still not good enough. And so the only way to get around that was to share my music. So I started to share it with people, and they're like, oh my God, I love this. And whether or not, you become a number one, artist and sell your soul to the inverted record industry or go on, whatever it is, that's not the point. The point is to just do what you love without judging it. And that's the challenge, because this 3D has been set up to not reward people for doing wonderful things that they love. It's very interesting. Artists don't get paid. Musicians don't really get paid. There's a lot of examples of it. So this is a really great question. So what is one thing you could do? And get some support. Reach out to a friend that's non-judgmental. Sometimes you'll find out that friends won't support you because they're holding their own fears. And if you step into your joy and passion, they're going to feel bad because you're doing it and they're still afraid. So at this point, it's really important to only surround yourself with people that are doing their inner work and go, okay, let's do this together. Let's do this together. Yeah, I'll support you. How can I help you? How can I help you? Those are the only people I hang out with. I'm still in contact with some people that don't want to wake up, or maybe they don't even know what it is, but they're not interested in going any deeper beyond their tiny little belief system and their, religions and stuff. They can't handle looking at the fact that maybe almost everything they were told was a lie. And so that's their journey this time. So I just love them, but I'm not interested in being in any of those limiting conversations. I'll hold space for a minute and then I'm out. There's nowhere to go. I'm only interested in speaking and hanging and co-creating with people that are willing to go, all right, I know there's more. And that's not from a greed standpoint. It's from a deprogramming standpoint. It's how an unlimited divine being thinks and acts. Unlimited. So, yeah. So get a friend or reach out to somebody or go onto YouTube and type in your thing that how to clear a fear around this or that or whatever. YouTube's great, even though it's owned by the dark. That'll change though. All this stuff that's happening the next couple months are going to be frickin', I'll just say lots of changes. And it may have to get a little bit more intense because the goal is that people are getting their last opportunities right now to wake up and to move into higher timelines or to stay and just go, I'm okay being ruled by corrupt government officials that want to, poison me, enslave me, and, force me into electric cars that they can turn off at any time and, turn off my digital wallet at any time. That's complete enslavement. And then there's other people that are like, nope, never, no matter what, never going to submit. And those are the people that I'm hanging out with because they're in their hearts and they're willing to look at the programs in the wounds. And then they help other people. Let's just pay it forward. Everybody's our mirror. Everybody. There is no other. So one of my teachers told me, he said, Jeff, everyone is you. And now that can bring up, well, I'm not the bad. No, but send love to every single person, even the worst people that you think are doing what they're doing. And there's some pretty diabolical people out there that have decided that it's their right to remove 90% of the population. You got to be pretty wounded to do that. Just send them light. Just send them light. Don't go into the story. Blah, blah, blah. Just send them light. Just send them light. Can be that quick. Just blast them. Blast them with light and forgiveness. That way you're not holding any of that sticky stuff that they're intending that you hold, because they know that they can't hold the love and the light that you're holding. That's great. Yeah. All right. Before I go. There you go. Yeah, expectations are really sticky and tricky too. I did that too. I still do it, but I can feel it now because I've been practicing these tools and sharing it with others for a long time. So things just get faster and faster and easier. But you have to have a system to remind yourself every day and throughout the day. That's why this is so simple. So simple. And if you're interested in grabbing the book, it's 50% off right now. Go grab it. And if not, take in whatever I've shared. Create your own system. I'm not here to be the salesman. Currently, we're still having to pay for our rent and things like that, but that's changing, and how amazing is that going to be? Everything's free. Food's healthy. No more spraying poison. Hey, I got a great idea. Let's spray poison on the food before we eat it. I mean, you want to talk about programming. These people just didn't know. They didn't question anything. The dark ones were very convincing with all their lies about why they needed to do this stuff. And people just went, okay. Well, that game's over. And unfortunately, a lot of people died in vain because of trusting people. So I'm not saying don't ever trust, but learn how to feel frequency in your body. Then you'll know. You'll be able to tell when you're in a conversation with somebody. If you'll be able to tell, trust me. But be careful that you're not projecting your own wound onto them and saying that person's bad because they just triggered your wound. You must heal. We have to heal. There's no getting around it. And I know people don't like that word because then it makes them feel like they're messed up. But we chose to get messed up because we knew we would evolve out of this. We knew that we could not be enslaved. So anyway, just sending lots of love to all of you. Thank you for hanging on here with me. And if you feel like anybody would benefit from this, please feel free to share it. And if anybody has any questions or would like to do any session work or, 3-month journey or something, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to get on a call with you. It's not a sales call. It's a mirroring call because I'm learning from everybody. Here's another key. Every single person is your teacher, especially the ones that you might judge or trigger you. Remember that, and you'll start moving through stuff and clearing it really, really quickly. Every single person is your teacher, and they've got a gift. Yeah, doesn't mean you ever have to hang out with them again, but how you move through it as a master of observation, being detached and going, here's a great mantra for you. Instead of judging, write down this mantra. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting is 100% neutral. It's the observer. So it's not going to pull any more of that stuff. Because everything you judge, we are magnetizing more of that into our reality. Every time you have a judgment, you're saying, send me more of that. How's your ego reacting right now? Yeah. I was a judgeaholic. I was taught to be in private Catholic schools. The nuns were pissed off and angry every single day. Every single day was Judgment Day. That was part of my soul contract. So at 7 years young, I could see the programming of the Catholic Church and religion, all giving your power away to something outside yourself and having to give money to be forgiven. What a scam program that is, huh? Okay, here's something from Lori. I appreciate your questions, Lori, because this applies to all of us. It's not just you. I'm having a hard time how we chose this before we came here. Okay, so notice the struggle. Who's struggling? Your heart or your ego? I know the answer to that. The ego doesn't want to admit that. I get it. I said it for a long time. I would have never chosen this amount of pain and suffering. That's because that's the ego. Your higher self is like, I'm above all this. I'm going to go on the most incredible roller coaster ride ever because I'm unlimited and I can never die or be killed. So where would I want to go? I'm going to go to the most inverted freaking planet ever. And I'm going to help create one of the greatest shifts ever. How amazing is that going to be? Because I'm kind of bored just hanging out up here. I can do anything. There is no lack. There's no disease. There's no struggle. There's no fear. There's no doubt. I'm kind of bored. But I want to choose the greatest roller coaster ride at the amusement park I can find. So I'm going to go down to the earth and then be part of one of the greatest celebrations in the history of humanity. As far as we know, I'm sure there's been others. But as you know, so much has been erased. All of our history has been erased and inverted. So, Lori, I'm having a hard time. Okay, look at that, because that's programming the subconscious. I know I'm being nitpicky now, but when you're able to look at how you use your words, you're actually telling your subconscious when I say I'm having a hard time that things are difficult. So subconscious goes, all right, things are difficult. Go to my YouTube channel and watch the short video. It's one of my shortest ones ever on spell words and how to remove them. And you can remove them this week. And I also teach the words to replace them with, like, I intend, I have, I am, it is done, I have manifested. And you start to program your reality as it's already happened. never in the future. Yeah, you can make steps and you can plan because things got slowed down in 3D. So, next week will be next week according to time, even though it doesn't exist, if you know what I mean. However, where you see it and feel it with a smile of excitement is it's already here. It's already here. And if anything pops in to go, no, it's not, go sit in the corner. That's the old program. And then you come right back to it's already here, it's already here, it's already here. And then you can journal how beautiful it is that I'm living in my gorgeous new home overlooking the waterfalls in Hawaii or wherever, and I have the most incredible health and money, and the most incredible people just automatically are magnetized into my reality every single day. Every single day is a blessing from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. And if something comes up or shows up, I use my awareness to clear it without getting triggered. And if I do get triggered, because some things can happen that are intense, somebody dying or being harmed or an animal getting hit by a car. I deal with this stuff every day. But it feels so great to serve and to help. And it's not an ego thing. It's a heart thing, because that's the key. So yeah. So I would invite you, Lori, to journal on that and question it. Don't believe me. Like my teacher said, don't believe me, but don't believe yourself. Because I'm sharing with you things that I've been practicing for a long time, but you could catch up like that. In fact, you're already there because you're listening to this. Because, people that aren't interested just think I'm crazy. This guy's crazy. Because their ego's intimidated by what I'm saying, because it challenges that tiny little belief system, which is nothing more than a prison. It's a prison. Look at people. They have a belief. They won't let anything else around it, because if their beliefs aren't true, then they don't know who they are. And that scares the hell out of them. But here's another mantra to write down, along with, isn't that interesting? Write this one down. This will free you. I know nothing. Doesn't mean that you don't know that love is the highest frequency or excitement, but that stops the ego in its tracks every single time. Because the ego needs to know. But it doesn't know anything. All it knows is what it's been programmed with, which is mostly inverted stuff, limitations, and then it defends those over and over and over. So, because it doesn't know who it would be if that wasn't true. And the cycle just repeats over and over. So write it down. I know nothing. And say it with a smile and understand why you're saying it. I'm freeing myself right now. I don't need to cling to anything. I follow the higher frequencies. I question every one of my beliefs. And I just observe. And I show up with kindness. And I smile at everyone. I live in Thailand. I don't speak Thai. But when I smile at somebody, it's amazing how quickly that goes into their processing center and they smile right back. Even if they're coming the opposite way on a motorcycle, and I just smile and nod. And my loving frequency goes into them, and there's an immediate response. It's not even thought about. It's automatic recognition of love. It's built in. It's really cool. It's not because I'm so great. It's because I live in a neighborhood with mostly Thai people, and I respect them and love them because Thailand's been really good to me. I love it here. And I can also see that these people are heavily programmed. They're Buddhist, which is great. There's incredible temples here on every corner. Incredible. But they don't believe that anybody would ever lie to them. So they watch the television, and then they line up to get boosters and things because they don't believe anybody would lie to them, and it breaks my heart. But everybody's got their own soul contract, Yeah. So I intend that some of this is seeping in, and I've got a lot of videos on my YouTube channel if this is the kind of thing that you're hungry for. And again, the book's 50% off. It's cheap. Spend that amount on dinner or more, you know? But watch the program. Oh, hey, okay, it's called Waking Up in the Dream. And it's available on my website. I'll put in the link here. There's an online course too. That's 50% off as well, which has PowerPoint trainings, which clearly show you in images, text, and my narration, because people learn in different ways, what the ego does, why it does it, and to see how it runs that program. And once you see it, you're like, oh, that's how they get everybody. So here's the key. We cannot dismantle a program. There's the link. We cannot dismantle a program unless we can see it. And that's why these tools are so powerful, because you just start tracking certain things. Every day you write a minute, and it takes 5 minutes. You could journal for a half hour, an hour, which a lot of my students do. I don't like the name students because we're all students, but you know what I mean. And yeah, man, you just start catching and seeing these programs. And when you see them, they start becoming dismantled immediately, because the majority of people simply defend them because they don't see that the belief system is a prison, and that their beliefs aren't even their own. So they defend them over and over and over. And you can just see, you can look at people. Some people are really abundant because they grew up around money, where money was easy. Some people, like me, grew up around lack of money. When my dad died, my mom was in fear. God bless her. She's an amazing woman, but my uncle was in fear around money. He had 8 kids. Everything about money was lack, 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 lack. That was part of my soul contract. So I had to clear that. And the only way I could clear it was to see it. I did EFT tapping. Oh, money comes to me easily and effortlessly. Didn't work at all. Why? Because they didn't teach me how to go in and clear the subconscious underlying belief. This process teaches you how to go in and do that. Because if you're not doing that, you're really not doing anything as far as really getting to the root and moving out of these limiting programs. It's real simple. For anybody that's willing to do it, it's real simple. So I'll leave you with that. So big, big love from Thailand. Thank you for all your kind comments and for showing up and hanging on here with me. And again, yeah, if you feel like you got something out of this and you'd like to share it with friends or family or anybody, that'd be really great, because we're all in this together. And every time we have a loving thought or an aha moment, we're raising the consciousness of the entire collective. It's all tied in together. There's no way it can't be. So thank you all for showing up. Big, big love. And I will see you on the next one. Reach out if you'd like to investigate doing some journeying. And just thanks for being here at this time. You're amazing. Don't ever forget that. And question anything that might tell you that you're not, because that's a lie, guaranteed. And I'll be doing the same. And I'll see you in the field. Big, big, big love from Thailand.